If you want to feel rich this year, not someday, stop treating goals like wishes on a whiteboard and start treating them like mechanics. Money responds to choreography, not motivation. The households that quietly become wealthy don't set 50 resolutions and try to become different people. They set a small set of goals that change how their month behaves while they are tired, busy, or bored. This is a long, honest, practical script that turns "Become Rich" from a slogan into a design project you can run in real life. No bullet points, no hacks, just the exact financial goals to set, why they matter, and how to wire them into your calendar so they keep going when your enthusiasm doesn't. Begin with the goal everyone skips because it's boring. Make your month quiet. You cannot stack wealth on top of chaos. A quiet month is a system where the urgent is automated and the important is scheduled. Route all income into a staging account with no card attached so your plan and your impulses stop drinking from the same glass. In the first week of each pay cycle, a bills-only account drafts housing, utilities, insurance, transport, childcare, and minimums on debt. The day after payday, small drips refill labeled pockets for predictable irregulars that used to ambush you. Tires and service, copays, gifts you actually give, school or kid activities, a winter energy spike, pet care, travel. Every Friday, a weekly card refills with the amount that carries groceries and ordinary life, so drift lasts days, not months. A savings drip on payday pays your future first, before feelings get a vote. Wealth is not a mood, it's plumbing. Your year changes the second these pipes run without your attention. The second goal is to build a sleep fund that matches your reality. Call it emergency savings if you like, but Sleep Fund is more honest about what it buys: unbroken nights and the right to make good decisions. If your job is stable, set the first target at 1 month of burn after taxes. If your income fluctuates or you carry more people on your shoulders, aim for 3 months as your first finish line. Do not wait for perfection before starting. Let the drip run on payday. Put the account in a high-yield home where a card can't reach it. Keep this number on a tiny scoreboard you update weekly so your brain sees progress even when markets are sideways. Rich isn't what your spreadsheet says, it's what your nervous system believes. The Sleep Fund is how you start believing. The third goal is to turn debt from a swirl into a policy. Debt is not a moral failure, it is a system failure. You can fix a system. Write your rules while you're calm and obey them when you're tired. For transportation, refuse monthly payment thinking and negotiate out-the-door price. Pick a term that doesn't outlast usefulness and never roll negative equity. For credit cards, auto-pay in full to avoid building credit with interest payments. If you carry balances now, automate a fixed over minimum on payday and roll the same payment intact as each balance dies. Avalanche, highest rate first, is optimal on paper. Snowball, smallest first, is optimal for momentum. The best plan is the one you will keep. For student loans, know your exact program, maintain paperwork for income-driven plans, and treat forms like rent: boring, scheduled, non-negotiable. The goal is not suffering, it's forward motion you can't talk yourself out of. Set a fourth goal that feels like ambition and behaves like policy: raise your price. The middle class stays stuck because they confuse effort with value. Value is measured in receipts. Choose one verb you already do: prevent, stabilize, accelerate, translate, simplify, design, and producticize it into an outcome with a definition of done. Ship one useful proof each week and record one number that demonstrates impact: minutes saved by a checklist you wrote, errors prevented by a better handoff, revenue added by a clearer story, churn reduced by improved onboarding. Keep these receipts in a simple document. Learn your employer's raise calendar and arrive with arithmetic, not adjectives. If you're independent, package offers with deposits and pause clauses so no one rents your calendar. Your goal is a raise this year paid for with evidence, not heroics. Quiet wealth begins with a boring habit: ship proof, record outcome, present math, get paid more for the same human. The fifth goal is to own the world on a schedule you can obey while tired. Investing is not about outsmarting headlines, it's about boring ownership that keeps happening. Write one sentence you will obey even when your phone is loud. Own the world cheaply through a broad, low-cost equity fund. Add a modest bond ballast if it helps you sleep, contribute on paydays, rebalance on your birthday and half-birthday, change nothing unless you rewrite this policy while calm. Automate the contribution now, even if the number is humble. Dollar cost averaging is the engine that turns work into ownership without requiring you to guess. Hide trading apps from your home screen. Disable push alerts. You are not a contestant. You are a patient owner of productive assets. The goal is not to beat markets. It's to stop letting markets rent your attention. The sixth goal is proximity. Redesign where your money lives relative to your life. Distance is a bill that arrives as fatigue, fuel, delivery, childcare gymnastics, and the weird sadness that shows up when your week exists in transit. If you can, move closer to work, groceries, and the people you love, even if the place is smaller or less photogenic. If you cannot move, redesign loops. Shop where you already are, batch errands into one circuit. Replace a second car with a cargo bike for local loops. Say yes more often to invitations you can walk to. Proximity is a savings account you fund with geography. It buys hours you can redirect into cooking, sleeping, and shipping the proofs that raise your price. Rich looks like a day you didn't have to buy your way out of. Seventh, make invisible fixed costs visible with a rebuy ritual. Subscriptions creep in because they're polite. A quarterly ritual kills the creep. Read each recurring charge out loud and ask whether you would buy it again today at this price. Keep clean yeses. Cancel maybes, pause indecisions, and let the savings sit in your sleep fund for a season before you give them a new job. Annual billing is for things you would happily buy 12 times, not a trick to feel frugal while funding inertia. Your goal is not austerity. It's to stop renting your future to whispers you forgot to evaluate. Eighth, give joy and generosity a seat at the table. Budgets fail because joy sneaks in at midnight and bills you 24% APR. Build small lines for joy and giving that you protect like rent. 2 matinees, a picnic with friends, a cheap train to see someone you love. These should exist. Generosity needs a line too, with a single sentence you can repeat when asked. I can do 50 this month. Good people stay rich by drawing kind boundaries before feelings get loud. The goal is a life you enjoy now and can still enjoy later. Ninth, treat taxes like a weekly habit, not a seasonal panic. If money arrives in irregular bursts, become your own payroll. Invoices land in staging, a percentage skims to a fenced tax account the day funds arrive, the bills account fills, a savings drip runs, and the same safe Friday number hits the weekly card from a buffer regardless of which client paid. Keep receipts for what you truly spend to do the job. Put estimated tax dates on the calendar like rent. The goal is never to fund April with panic or credit. Tax calm is worth more than any hack. 10th, make paperwork your cheapest piece. Keep a password manager with recovery codes, update beneficiaries, draft a simple will and medical directives, write a one-page letter of instructions that lists where things live and who to call. If you hold employer stock or options, write a sell policy now. Sell on vest unless under a strict cap and obey it. Paperwork doesn't feel like wealth until a bad day arrives. Then it will be the highest return investment you ever made. There's a health goal most plans ignore. Buy reliability early. Shoes that tell the truth, a chair and mattress that don't lie, tires and brakes that stop, a router that won't drop calls, air and water that won't pick fights with your body. Preventive care, cleanings, screenings, and sane light in your mornings are financial moves because they replace emergencies with errands. You can't be rich if your body forces you to buy survival all the time. The goal isn't wellness content, it's maintenance. Tie these goals together with a scoreboard your brain will respect. Every Friday, update 5 lines in under 2 minutes. Sleep fund depth, savings rate for the year to date, debt balance slain since last month, investing contribution since January 1st, and late fees avoided this quarter. Add hours slept if you want to be honest, and 1 useful proof shipped this week with the number that proved it mattered. Your brain will keep habits that pay you now. This scoreboard is the bell that says it's working, even when markets wander.
A year is won or lost in boring weeks. Design a small set of rituals that fire regardless of feelings. Friday morning, weekly card refill, scoreboard update, and a small planned treat so rebellion doesn't sneak in at midnight. First Friday of the quarter, rebuy ritual for subscriptions. Birthdays and half birthdays, rebalance investments, refill cash if markets were kind, and freeze raises if they weren't. Payday, sleep fund drip, investment drip, and an automated over minimum to debt that rolls forward as balances die. Promotions, bonuses, tax refunds. A 90-day quiet period where money flows through customs, sleep fund, debt, investing, before any permanent cost can audition. The goal isn't to become perfect. It's to make the right thing happen on dates so you don't need to negotiate with yourself after long days. To show how these goals look in a real home, step into 3 rooms where people stopped treating become rich as a vibe and started treating it as a year of designs. A nurse in her late 20s was fine on paper, exhausted in practice, and always one surprise away from a bad week. Her goals were small and mechanical. Quiet the month with Rails. Build a 1-month sleep fund. Automate a 250 investment drip into a global fund. Install a weekly scoreboard. She moved her phone charger out of the bedroom and wrote 2 10-minute dinners on a freezer board: eggs and beans and fried rice with an egg. Late fees disappeared. Delivery became sometimes instead of default. The sleep fund arrived with a quiet confidence she could taste. She documented a handoff checklist at work that cut error and presented the minutes saved at review. A differential arrived because arithmetic did. Her net worth grew, yes, but the bigger change was emotional. She stopped using shopping as relief because relief was now scheduled and affordable. A teacher with 2 kids and an affordable house far from everything set a different mix of goals. Buy proximity, reduce distance tax, productize one verb. He sold the myth of cheap far away, rented near school and groceries, and replaced a second car with a small cargo e-bike for local loops. Insurance and fuel shrank, time expanded. He installed Rails, funded a 3-month sleep fund, and set a 700 investment drip on the first of the month. He packaged curriculum map in a week, booked 2 Saturdays a month, and posted before-afters with permission. Testimonials piled up in a single doc. At review, he presented outcomes and dates. A better room at work opened. The house got smaller. The week got bigger. The budget stayed the same on paper and felt richer in real life. A self-employed designer who lived in feast and famine set goals about stability, not flash. Become your own payroll. Fence taxes. Fix offers. She routed invoices into staging, skimmed taxes the day money landed, filled a bills account, ran a savings drip, and paid the same Safe Friday number to her household from a buffer. She rewrote her offers into 2 productized outcomes with deposits and pause clauses so no one rented her calendar. She documented handoffs so help could succeed. She wrote a sell policy for old employer stock and removed trading apps from her home screen. She opened a 2-fund allocation and set investments to run monthly. She added small joy and generosity lines so rebellion stopped billing her at midnight. 6 months later, revenue wasn't double, but anxiety was half. The compounding engine hummed because the household stopped interrupting it. None of these people became different characters. They changed what money did on Fridays. That's the real goal this year. Design a week that gets you paid more, spends less attention, and invests reliably, no matter how you feel. If you want a ceremony tonight that converts goals into gravity, do this. Rename 2 accounts in your banking app: Staging, Rails, and Sleep Fund. Open or repurpose a bills-only account. Schedule 4 moves to fire without your permission. Week 1 drafts for non-negotiables, day after payday drips for tires and service, co-pays, gifts, school and activities, travel, and the winter energy spike, a Friday morning refill for your weekly card, and a payday savings drip that feeds the sleep fund before feelings get a vote. Write your 1-sentence investing policy while you're calm and tape it where your tired self will see it. Move your phone charger out of the bedroom so mornings belong to water, light, and a 2-minute check that your transfers ran. Put a whiteboard on your freezer and write 2 10-minute dinners you will actually cook. Build a friction kit: water, snack, charger, small towel, bandage, spare 20, so detours stop charging tolls. Open a note labeled Receipts Outcomes and add 1 line this week about a useful change you made and how you know it worked. Text 1 person you trust and invite them into a tiny money council. Policies, not balances. Then stop. Let Friday arrive. Listen for quiet. The transfers run, the bills draft, the sync strip, the weekly card refills, the drip invests, the scoreboard moves a millimeter, and nothing dramatic occurs. That quiet is compounding beginning to do its work. Set a last goal you'll actually enjoy. Design a small ritual that celebrates the week without setting the month on fire. A matinee, a library book in a park, a phone call that lasts past 10 minutes, a meal you cook with someone you like. Joy that's scheduled is cheaper than relief you buy at midnight. You'll keep the system because the system keeps you. By December, these goals will read like a normal life. Rent that drafts without your attention, groceries that don't argue with your future, a sleep fund that makes you generous, an income that rises because someone can count your impact, an investment plan that hums in the background while you go outside, subscriptions that ask permission before they bill you again, paperwork that makes your household resilient, and a calendar that belongs to you. Becoming rich was never a test of cleverness. It was a test of design. Set these goals and keep them boring. The money will do the glamorous part.